Welcome to a place where hearts unwind, infinite threads that gently bind, love and compassion in every line. Together we rise through space and time.
Hey, welcome back to Infinite Threads. I'm your host, Bob. Episode 400. That feels a little strange to say out loud. When something reaches a number like that, it makes you pause for a moment. At least it does me. You look back, not in a perfect line, but in little flashes. A thought that mattered, a story that stayed, a morning when the words came easily, and another morning when they had to be pulled gently from somewhere deeper. 400 episodes is a lot of quiet conversation. And at the center of all of it, there's been one thread. Love. Not the shallow version of the word either. Not the greeting card version. Not the kind that disappears the moment life becomes complicated. I mean the deeper thing. The force underneath it all. The love force. I love that. That phrase may sound unusual to some people, but I keep coming back to it because ordinary language doesn't always feel large enough. Love is called an emotion so often that we start to think of it as something passing through us like weather. And yes, love can be felt. We feel it in the chest. We feel it in memory. We feel it when someone's voice changes the whole shape of the day. But love seems to be more than the feeling, don't you think? The feeling is where we notice it. The force is what keeps moving after the feeling has shifted. A tired parent still gets up. A friend still answers. Someone still chooses mercy when the old pain in them wanted revenge. That is love doing something. Not simply glowing inside a heart, but moving through a life. I think that is what Infinite Threads has been reaching toward all along. There's something beneath our separate lives, something that keeps trying to remind us we belong to one another. We may forget it. We may fight against it. We may build walls, categories, excuses, and whole philosophies to explain why some people should matter less. But the thread, well, guys, the thread keeps pulling. We feel it when another person's pain reaches us. We feel it when a stranger's kindness stays with us longer than expected. We feel it in grief when love refuses to vanish just because someone is no longer standing where we can touch them. That may be one of the reasons that I've never been able to think of love as only a private emotion. If it were only private, why would it keep reaching across distance? Why would something given to us years ago come back through our own hands when someone else needs tenderness? A person we loved may be gone, yet their gentleness can still affect the way we speak to someone today. And that is not nothing, guys. That is a thread. It moves through time in ways that we can't always explain. Maybe the world is full of these hidden continuations. I believe it is. A kindness from one childhood becomes patience in another home decades later. A word of encouragement becomes courage in a person who almost gave up. A small mercy interrupts a chain of harm that had been traveling for years. No headline announces it. No one may know the whole story. But something has changed. The thread held. I think about that often because the world can feel so divided, so loud, so determined to make us forget the sacredness of each other. It trains us to react quickly. It rewards contempt. It turns people into teams, enemies, labels, and arguments. The love force, though, moves differently. It slows us down enough to see the human being again, not as an excuse for harm and not as a reason to avoid truth. Love is not blind, no matter how many times people say that. And it should never be used to cover cruelty. Real love has enough courage to protect the vulnerable. It has enough clarity to say no when no is the honest answer. But even when love has to be firm, it doesn't need to become dehumanizing. And that matters. Because once we dehumanize, almost anything can be justified. We don't want to go there, guys. The thread gets buried under fear, pride, and the terrible comfort of believing we no longer have to care. Love keeps digging it back up. It whispers, look again. That person that you disagree with is still alive. That stranger is not a category. That child is not a problem to manage. That wounded person is not disposable. This is where love becomes more than a beautiful idea. It becomes a kind of spiritual resistance. It refuses to let the world teach us that hardness is wisdom and cruelty is strength. I know tenderness can be mocked. It's mocked all the time. I've had it through my life. I know compassion can be treated as a weakness by people who have confused numbness with maturity. But I don't believe the hard-hearted are the ones who understand life best. Sometimes they're only the ones who stopped listening to the deeper music. And there is a deeper music. We hear it in the moments when the soul becomes quiet enough. The hospital room where someone sits beside the bed because leaving would feel like betrayal. The kitchen table where forgiveness begins awkwardly. Not because everything is fixed, but because love is trying to make one honest step possible. Or the ordinary morning when someone remembers how you take your coffee, and for reasons you can't fully explain, you feel less alone in the world. These moments don't always look grand. They don't need to. The thread beneath everything is not always dramatic. Most of the time it works through small human faithfulness. Someone stays, someone notices, someone reaches back. Someone decides that the wound will not continue through them in the same form. That's a big one. That's how the love force becomes visible. And maybe that's why these 400 episodes matter so much to me. Not because every word was perfect, because God knows they weren't. Not because every thought was complete. No thought about love ever really is. But because every morning has been another chance to point toward the same hidden truth. You know what that is? We are connected. We are responsible for what we carry into the world. We are shaped by love, and we become part of how love reaches someone else. That is the beauty and the burden of being human. None of us is just passing through untouched. We leave something behind in every room. We hand something forward with every reaction. Our gentleness can become part of another person's evidence that goodness is still here. Our harshness can travel too. And that's why attention matters. That's why you've got to have some self-awareness. We don't have to be perfect. That would be impossible. And honestly, it would not even be human. We will speak too quickly sometimes. We will misunderstand and we will get tired and fall back into old patterns. Love doesn't ask us to become flawless before it can move through us. What it asks of us is for us to return. Return to the better way after we drift. Return to tenderness after fear has sharpened us. Return to the truth that every life carries more than we can see. That returning may be, it may be one of the holiest parts of a human life. I used to think wisdom meant having better answers. Maybe it does in part. But lately, I think wisdom may also mean becoming less willing to abandon love when the answer is hard to find. There are things that we cannot solve today. There are losses that we can't undo. There are divisions too deep for one conversation to mend. Still, love can move in the next moment. It can move through a softer tone. It can move through a boundary held without hatred. It can move through the courage to tell the truth while keeping the soul of the other person in view. That may not sound like enough when the world feels enormous, but the thread has always moved through small places. A human heart, a shared table, a hand reaching toward another hand, a sentence spoken with care. That is where the great things begin. Maybe that is why I still believe in the love force after all these episodes. Not because life has proven easy, because it hasn't. Not because love removes sorrow. We know better than that. I believe in it because sorrow has not been able to erase it. Grief has not erased it. Fear has not erased it. Cruelty has not erased it, no matter how loudly it tries. And boy, do we know it tries. Love keeps returning. Sometimes through people who don't even realize they're carrying it. Sometimes through memory. Sometimes through the quiet ache that tells us something mattered deeply enough to become part of us. And if love keeps returning, then hope is not foolish. Hope is a form of listening. It listens for the thread beneath the noise. It listens for the part of humanity that has not given up on tenderness. It listens for the love force still moving through ordinary people, asking only for a place to pass through. That may be the invitation of episode 400. Not a grand announcement, but more like a hand laid gently over the heart. A reminder that the thread is still here. It has been here in every reflection on kindness, grief, mercy, empathy, memory, forgiveness, and the courage to stay soft. It is here when we choose not to pass along the harm that reached us. It's here when we let another person's pain matter. It's here when we remember that love is not a side note in the story of being human. Love is the current beneath the story, the force that keeps trying to pull life back toward healing. So today, I am grateful. Grateful for 400 mornings of returning to this thought from different paths. I've been learning along with everybody else. I'm grateful for the unseen ways that love keeps moving. Grateful for the chance to keep following the thread wherever it leads. And I hope as we step beyond this milestone, we don't treat love as something small. It may be the deepest reality we ever touch. The thing beneath the thing. The quiet power that keeps calling us home to one another. Thank you, guys. Thank you Thank you for spending this time with me on Infinite Threads. I know I repeat so much. I know I do stacked paragraphs because I like to try to get everybody's experience and find the one that makes them go, oh yeah. 400 episodes in, I still believe this thread holds. I still believe love is more than emotion, and I still believe that when we let the love force move through us, even one ordinary moment can become part of the healing of the world. I love you guys so very much. And I hope you believe that. And I hope you know what I need you to do. Go out and pass that on, okay? Later, Gators. Please share. Bye-bye.
Fears